Female leads of Ocean's 8 argue lukewarm reviews to women-focused films are unfair thanks to mostly white male critics. The female stars of Ocean's 8 talked about the prominence of film reviews by white male critics, saying it seems just unfair that one bad review can dictate so much about a film, especially when it was created for a different audience. In light of this, the cast addressed the mixed response the film has received to date with Yahoo Movies UK at the Ocean's 8 press junket. "If I had to base my career on what white men wanted, I would be very unsuccessful, so there is obviously an audience out there who want to watch things like Ocean's 8, what I work on, what Sarah Paulson works on," Minty Kaling, who plays Amita, said. Despite the truth to this statement, female film critics did not universally praise Ocean's 8, with one noting that bad reviews shouldn't be dismissed simply because they don't come from the target audience. "I submit to you that men and women are not the same, they like different things," Kaling said. "Sometimes they like the same thing, but sometimes their tastes diverge." BuzzFeed News critic and culture writer Alison Willmore responded to this sentiment by pointing out that all women aren't the same, either. Maybe reviews of Ocean's 8 would have skewed more positive if it had been majority women identifying critics reviewing it. Maybe not. Willmore wrote on Twitter on Friday. "If you need to erase the opinions of female critics who didn't like it in order to make this argument, it's not a good one. Women aren't monolithic." She may have been referring to reviews of Ocean's 8 from Time's Stephanie Zacharek and Vulture's Emily Yoshida, both of which found the feature lacking. However, to make Willmore's point that women don't all share the same brain, it is entirely possible that if more women had reviewed the film, most would have liked it. But that is not the landscape we currently live in when it comes to critical review of film. A study recently released by the University of Southern California's Annenberg Inclusion Initiative confirmed that in 2017, almost 80% of film critics that reviewed the year's top 100 movies were white males. Cate Blanchett, who plays Lou in Ocean's 8, said that while she was already aware of this disparity, she was pleased that finally these things are being said out loud. "When you start pointing that stuff out, you realize there's a certain gaze that looks at women," Blanchett said. Inciting Meryl Streep's outrage against film review site Rotten Tomatoes from a 2015 interview with the Daily Beast, where Streep said the site gave more credence to posts from men, Kaling said, "Meryl had a great point of view about it. She made movies for women, but they are reviewed by men who don't necessarily value it or don't look at it in the same point of view as a woman doing it, but it seems just unfair. And the thing about so much of what Ocean's 8 is, I think white men, critics would enjoy it, would enjoy my work," she continued, "but often I think there is a critic who will damn it in a way because they don't understand it, because they come at it at a different point of view, and they're so powerful." Rotten Tomatoes? While BuzzFeed News' Willmore agreed that more diverse representation is overdue, she disagreed with the reasoning seemingly put forth by the stars. The push for greater diversity in criticism should come on the basis that more people from more backgrounds should be heard weighing in on a film, not on people arguing their movie obviously would have done better critically. "You can't know that and it shouldn't matter," she wrote on Friday. "This movie isn't for you" is the same argument an angry teen boy uses when telling me why I shouldn't get to weigh in on Suicide Squad. It's also an argument whose endpoint is that there should never be bad reviews, because that just means the critic wasn't the right audience. Good or bad, most everyone in the movie industry agrees on at least one thing: reviews matter. Oscar winner Brie Larson brought up this point while accepting the Women in Film's Crystal Award for Excellence in Film on Wednesday. "Good reviews out of festivals give small, independent films a fighting chance to be bought and seen," Larson said. "Good reviews help films gross money, good reviews slingshot films into awards contenders. A good review can change your life. It changed mine." Larson seemed to agree more along the lines of Kaling and Blanchett, however, that the most valuable reviews would be from the target audience. "I don't need a 40-year-old white dude to tell me what didn't work about A Wrinkle in Time," she said. "It wasn't made for him. I want to know what it meant to women of color, biracial women, to teen women of color. Larson added, "Am I saying I hate white dudes? No, I am not. What I am saying is if you make a movie that is a love letter to women of color, there is an insanely low chance a woman of color will have a chance to see your movie, and review your movie." At the awards show, Larson announced an initiative by the Sundance and Toronto Film Festivals to reserve 20% of their journalist passes to critics from underrepresented groups. "We need to be conscious of our bias and make sure that everyone is in the room," Larson said. Paulson, who plays Tammy in Ocean's 8, told Yahoo Movies UK that she thinks it's also simply a hard time, in general, for movies in theaters and was thankful that mixed reviews hadn't kept people from watching their work. With Netflix and all the things that are happening on television, in order to leave your house, if you've got children, a family, any kind of life at all, which I think everybody is overwhelmed by, I think to take time to go to the movie theaters is a big deal and really exciting, so I feel that's a big win, Paulson said. Other members of the star-studded cast of Ocean's 8 include Sandra Bullock, Debbie Ocean, Anne Hathaway, Daphne Kluger, Awkwafina, Constance, Rihanna, Nine Ball, and Helena Bonham Carter, Rose Wall. For all of those interested in seeing what this particular film has to offer, Ocean's 8 is now playing in theaters across the U.S.